had on in this episode because I found a couple grays in my hair, and I'm 29, so like I don't want to see that shit. So I'm
It's
wearing a hat on the headphones or
it's
under the
bound to
headphones.
happen. It's bound to happen. The day that I wear a hat on video, I'm just not trying to do my hair. It,
Well,
it might
clearly me
happen.
neither, but like I don't really have. I grew my hair out before. Did you notice?
Yeah, you used to have braids.
I used to have braids. I used to have an afro. I got it straightened before at Penn Relays. Story for
Okay.
another day.
We got to see those pictures though, so I
I
could
have them.
put them
I
on the
do.
video.
I do have them. I have a picture. I have a picture of my hair of me getting my hair braided in 2011, watching the AFC Championship with a Darrell Revis jersey on. Jets Steelers. My Jets lost, but my Jets at the time. I'm no longer a Jet fan. That's another story for another day. Also, um, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in life. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm hyped because we just had a dope ass interview
Yes.
with none other than Troy Isley,
Yes.
who, I mean, he's really, really cool. If you don't know Troy Isley, I mean, this is a name you're probably going to be hearing a lot in the future because he's a top prospect for top rank. He's 8-0, 4 by knockout. You'll get into it. I mean, we introduce him, but he's a really cool cat. And to be honest with you, I just want to see him win after that interview we just did.
Yeah. It was very fun. It was very fun. Definitely looking forward to his next fight. That will be on April 8th at Prudential Center on the Shakur Stevenson undercard. I haven't got around to pronouncing his opponent's name yet properly, so I'm not going to butcher it. But he's Japanese and he's cold. Like, he's nice. And Shakur Stevenson was trying to get somebody to fight him. He got somebody to fight him. So it's going to be really interesting. But on that undercard, we have Troy Isley competing against an opponent not yet named. We get into that later, but we talk about a lot of fun stuff. So hope you enjoy this because we did. And yeah, be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and do all those things.
Well, welcome back to the mandatory. We got a very special guest for our second official episode. I guess you could say he's someone that you definitely want to keep your eyes on. Troy Isley, 8-0, 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout as an amateur. He won the bronze at the 2017 World Championships and the 2019 Pan American Games, also known as the Transformer. We're going to find out why he rolled with that nickname as well. But Troy, thanks so much for joining us today. We're honestly hella happy to have you.
No problem, no problem. Thanks for having me on the show.
First boxer we've had on the show as well, as we're getting going here. So it's an honor to have you, somebody who qualified for the Olympics and who's going to be fighting on April 8th at Prudential Center on the Shakur Stevenson undercard. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But Shantelle, you want the people, because we're trying to get also casual fans, not just diehard fans, because that's how you're going to grow the sport, right? Getting to know Troy Isley, what are some of the things that like you would say are important to know, not just from a boxing perspective, but even just personally, when it comes to getting to know Troy Isley?
I mean, Troy like to eat. He like to try different. You like to try different restaurants. Like to travel. Like to go all over. Overseas. Like to travel. I like tennis shoes, fashion, stuff like that. Video games, and I'm nice. I'm a nice guy. I know I look mean and stuff like that from the outside, but people be like, "Oh, you look serious," stuff like that. But I'll be chilling. I'll be chilling. You just gotta say something. I'm not about to. I'm not the type of person to just walk up and make conversation all the time. That's all.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, boxers are actually like they're a lot of them are solid. I mean, some of them are crazy, but a lot of them are solid. You mentioned
Yeah.
video games, so I have to stop you right here. Like, what are the go-tos? Favorite franchises? What
Mm-hmm.
system? Because we're both
Yeah.
gamers here.
Yeah.
I was playing Madden before we started this.
Yeah.
Before I was taking some notes. So like, what are your options here?
I'm on the PlayStation 5, and Madden 2K. I like GTA Online, and I
There we
just
go.
got into Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Just got
I'm
into
not
it.
really that good. I'm not really that good at Call of Duty. And I take video games very serious. I don't like to lose, so I don't play
Same.
a lot of it. But I play a lot of Madden and 2K. Those are my main two franchises, Madden and 2K. And then when GTA finally, hopefully soon they bring out a new GTA,
Yeah.
because I'm tired of playing that old one. I'm not about to
Yeah.
keep playing. They keep making
there's
updates and stuff like that.
there's only
Yeah.
so many missions you do, you know what I mean? You get through
Right,
all the missions and you're just like, damn. But
right.
who do you roll with on 2K? Like if you're gonna pick a team, who's the team that you kind of play with?
If I'm gonna pick a team, I don't do a lot of gameplay on 2K. I like to do more of my career because it's a player that plays how I want them to play.
Okay.
I don't really do a lot of gameplay, but I mean, if I do, I like shooters, so I'm gonna go with any team that shoots. I like to shoot threes, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go Warriors probably, Suns now because they got KD. So yeah, probably Warriors or Suns. And my favorite player is Luka though. So yeah, but I'll probably get Luka too.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, like, how do you actually make your my player when you do your my career? Like, what is actually the playing style there? Because I as someone who played like high school level, not like played, but right, like, but that's still something. I like to try to make the player as far as like the best version of what I felt like I could have brought to the table, which is basically Jose Alvarado, if we're being honest. So, what is like the Troy Isley my player version?
The Troy Isley my player version is probably a James Harden.
Okay.
Ooh.
James Harden. I mean, this year I made a 6'9" small forward. Usually they be like they can't dribble, so I don't like to do it. I don't like to do it as much. But I made like a, I don't know. I was looking at players dunk and stuff like that, so I'm like, oh, I want a player that dunks. So I made like a Jaylen Brown and like a John Morant kind of guy. But he's 6'9" small forward. I made that. But usually I go for like a tall point guard, like a 6'6" point guard that can shoot. So more like a James Harden, Luka Doncic type of player. Defense is trash though. I'm not really that good on defense.
Well, defense in 2K is hard. Hopefully, you're a better playoff performer than James Harden, though. I'll say that much.
Yeah, no. We win it. We don't lose. We don't lose. So we good.
Winning championships. Also, like if you're not that good defensively in the game, it's all right because we know in the ring you're good defensively, Troy.
Yeah, right.
So as we're getting to know you right now, I kind of wanted to know how you got into boxing. Like, what kind of led you to the sport?
So I used to fight a lot outside of school. I just used to always be fighting. My gym is at a recreation center. I never really fought in school, but like always outside of school, I would always like get into fights and stuff like that. So you know, I went to this recreation center from like 5 to 8. And every day I would get into fights, and they rebuilt the rec. And then when they came back, they put the boxing gym in there, and I got into another fight. They're like, this kid is still fighting. He's still doing the same stuff. So one day they just walked me to K and was like, this kid always fighting. Can you do something with him? And they're like, K, like this kid, like I was small. This is before the ghost, but I was small, had a big head. Like I just didn't look like a fighter. K was like, this he don't fight. So I just sat in there. I didn't do anything that day. And then my dad asked me. I played football 3 years before, and then my dad asked me, did I want to try it out? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And it was a instant connection.
How old were you at the time when all this was going on?
I was 8.
Okay, so
I was 8, and I was better. I would say I was better at a single man sport than I was at a team sport. So I'm more of a sore loser in team sports. So like in team sports, like if we're losing, even if we were in PE and we were losing because of like one particular person, I was the type of person like to go up to that person like, hey, like bro, like you're trash, or like I don't know. I could be an asshole on team sports. So my dad seen that, and even when I tried to play football again, my dad was like, nah, just stick to boxing. So. And just locked in on.
That's messed up because like you could say that to them, and you know that they're not gonna try to fight you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah. They was like, bro, we're not getting paid for this, bro. Like, we're not even getting paid. I'm like, bro, I don't care. I'm trying to win, bro. Like, I don't care what it is. I'm trying to win. Hockey, like whatever it was, I ain't care.
So you start at 8. When does it start to become serious? Because there's a point, obviously, because then you start competing at these high amateur level competitions. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, you made it to the Olympics, right? Yeah. So like, when did it start becoming real serious and like, oh, this could be my career?
I want to say, okay, I mean, it was serious before this, but I mean, I want to say, all right, this could be my career. 2011, Silver Gloves. This was my first national. This on YouTube as well. I made it to the finals, and after that tournament, I was ranked number 2 in the nation, and I was like, okay, like I could do this as my career now. Like that was my first national, and I made it all the way to the finals. Kind of wasn't expecting to get that far. Coming where I'm from, Alexandria, we don't really have any boxers. We're not really known for that. So I was just like, okay, now I could do this as a career. 2011 Silver Gloves.
You kind of just mentioned where you kind of grew up. What was that like growing up in your home? You mentioned Alexandria, right? So what was that kind of like for you? And do you have like any siblings or anything as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got. I'm the youngest of 6, so 3 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm the youngest, and I come from great family. Two hardworking mom and dads. Went out. I had a perfect childhood. I'm not gonna say everything's perfect. Like, I didn't make mistakes. If I made mistakes, it was because of me. My parents, I got whatever I needed growing up. So I mean, if I wanted, if all I had to do was, go to school, do the right stuff, box. If I did anything good, I got the latest game, always got the latest tennis shoes. So I got whatever I needed growing up. I came from a solid family, and I'm the youngest, so you can kind of say I was spoiled. I graduated. By the time I graduated high school, all my brothers and sisters I graduated from college, so I was pretty much the spoiled ones, getting gifts from everybody.
Yeah, I saw your family at the Teofimo Lopez fight. You were fighting on that card, and I saw that you had a lot of support. When you told them that you wanted to do this professionally, like, what were their first thoughts?
My dad was with me 100%. So I always had my dad. My dad was with me, like, was always by my side, whatever. I mean, none of them really questioned it. Honestly, I ain't gonna say they questioned it. When they went to a fight and they see me fight, I guess they was just like, all right, he can fight, so we don't care. Like, all right, if he want to do it, he can do it. And then once they seen I could fight, and they was like, all right, yeah, we with it. Troy, want to box? Yeah, you go at box. Take it serious.
So I pulled this up, and I'm going to read this to you. This was when you fought on the undercard of Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez. So this was last year. Andre Ward has some very nice things to say about you on the desk, and I want to read this so that people can also get a perspective. And for people who don't know listening, Andre Ward, you probably know, but if you don't know, Andre Ward, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of the last 20 whatever years, or whatever the case of being retired undefeated. He said of you, Troy Isley, he's not necessarily a splash guy. He's not in your face. He's not loud. He's not boisterous. And historically, that's what boxing media and media in general will gravitate to. Those aren't always the guys that are standing when the smoke clears. Troy Isley has the it factor. He has the substance. He seems to have the intangibles. He's going to be one of the young guys standing when all is said and done. This was after your 5th career pro fight, if I'm not mistaken. To hear that from Andre Ward, who's seen it, who's done it, whatever the case may be, did that do anything for you even after that win?
I don't know. I kind of sometimes I be getting I ain't gonna say I get mad, but like sometimes it do get in my head a little bit. I get in my own head a little bit, like, damn, like, why don't I get the same attention, other guys get? But that definitely let me know, all right, Andre Ward believes in me. Andre Ward knows what I can do. He knows what I have. So hearing that from Andre Ward definitely was like, all right, shit. I mean, if one of the top pound for pound guys, is on my back and he believes me, shit, I could care less what everybody else got to say, because that's a 32-0 undefeated, pound for pound guy right there. So I could care less. But so that definitely helped, and definitely gave me a lot more confidence for sure.
And you talked about, like, sometimes you'll get in your own head when it comes to that thing. Like, do you get competitive? Not necessarily with, like, yourself only, but just with, like, other prospects, right? Not talking shit to them or anything like that, but you see, you guys are getting compared with each other all the time.
Yeah,
people are watching the top ranked cards, and it's like 8 prospects back to back to back to back to back. You're on, whatever, the 3rd, 4th fight. Like, do you get competitive even in that mode?
I mean, I ain't going yes, and because I mean, I look at a lot of the guys there. I'm cool with. With the amateurs, a lot of those are my Olympic brothers as well. So I would say I'm getting competitive as a lot more. So it's like I watch what the commentators say, like, for my last fight, or like if they say stuff that I didn't do, I just try to improve on that. And honestly, I just really care about what the commentators have to say. Honestly, as long as I'm making the right improvements, I'm good. I'm not really worried about that. You can't really worry too much about, trying to please everybody, or, trying to compete with everybody. You just got to who's in front of you, do what you got to do against them, and, go about your day.
You talked about how, you try to maybe not focus on what they're saying so much. But right now, you're obviously in training camp because you got a big fight coming up in April on the Shakur Stevenson card. How is training camp going for you right now? And who have you been sparring with?
Training camp has been going great for me, honestly. I'm getting some good rounds with Jesus Ramos out here in Arizona. So training camp has been going great for me. I feel good. I'm already in shape for real. I was already in training camp for about a month, getting working at home. So I'm good.
Is there a training camp story, like maybe the toughest camp you've been in to this point? Because you're at the point in your career where, like, you mentioned Jesus Ramos, and he has a co-feature coming up on pay-per-view. You're probably sparring with a lot of top guys. I believe you sparred with Jesse Vargas at one point. Like, who are some of the really tough guys that you sparred from, that you feel like you've learned from? And what were those experiences like?
A lot of Bud Crawford. I did the Jeff Horn camp, and Kell Brook camp. Swift Jared Hurd. He did lose both of those fights, but it was good sparring for me. I sparred him for Jared, and I sparred him for the Luis area. But definitely Swift Jared Hurd. I learned a lot from him. Jesse Vargas, I worked with him before my fifth pro fight, before the April 30th to Shakur Valdez fight. And just sparring in Vegas, just getting a lot of different looks as well. And then also me being on the USA team for those years, from 2017 to 2018, going to Kazakhstan, sparring all those nations, Germany, going to like Uzbek, or just going all over the world, seeing all those different styles. That was probably the tougher sparring sessions, because now, when I see those styles, it's like, I ain't gonna say it's easy, but I've seen everything, because I went overseas, I've sparred, those, the Cubans, or, the Kazakhs, or, the Uzbeks and stuff like that. So all those Germany and all that stuff. So I sparred all those countries. So, yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned you also did some training at the Bud Crawford camp. Who specifically were you sparring with there, and what was that experience like, being around a guy like Bud as well?
I was working with Bud, and that's a great experience. Just to even get a call, knowing that one of the pound for pound guys chose you as a sparring partner is, that's, to be getting that call was like, wow, shit. Bud Crawford, chose me out of a million sparring partners, and that was great. And I love, I learned a lot from Red. Me and Red stay getting, rounds in on the pads. Red, that's my guy. And then his strength coach, Jamie as well, Jamie Belt. Me and him did a lot of work together, and, we definitely built a great rapport.
It's crazy that you mentioned that, because, like, we know that arguably Bud is pound for pound number one on that list, depending on how you slice it, right?
Yeah.
What was the toughest part about sparring with him? And, like, as a fan question, how do you think he would do against a guy like the fight that we want, Errol Spence?
I mean, honestly, I'm rocking with Bud. It's a 50 fight. I'm rocking with Bud, honestly. Like, I feel like the toughest, though, I mean, making them adjustments, honestly, like, he got so many levels. I mean, you never really know if a power guy, because if you're doing good, whether you're like, damn, is he taking me serious or not? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot I can learn from him for sure. But, I mean, the whole session was tough, for real. I'm not going to say any one particular thing, but the whole sparring session was pretty tough.
Did you have one big takeaway above anything else, like in terms of what it taught you, what the experience taught you with sparring with Terence Crawford? Because, as we mentioned, pound for pound, arguably number one in the world right now. I'm
where I need to be. I like to spar those unified or those world champions, because I mean it lets me know where I'm at. Like if I can get somewhere in the game. So that's one thing I took from. I'm good. I can fight. I can compete at the top level. I know. A world champion or a unified world champion. I know I'm good to be in there with them, and then as well as what is one thing? He could punch. I didn't think he could punch, but he could punch. He definitely could punch.
You didn't think he could punch?
I didn't think he could punch, but I'm 160. So I mean,
Okay, yeah.
I'm 160. I'm not 147. So I was just like, and I was a little heavy. I was probably like 170 something, maybe 180 something, so a little heavy, maybe heavier than that. So, but for sure, he definitely could punch for us.
Yeah, that's interesting to see that, like, you could even see that his power translated to your weight class, which
Yeah.
kind of brings me to the question of the weight class that you're in right now, middleweight. You know, there's some really big names in that class. When you take a look at your career path and how that's going to go in the middleweight class, like, who are some guys that you would definitely want to get into the ring with?
For sure, want to get a ring with Felix Cash, Emma Williams. We fought in the amateurs. For sure, definitely Jennebeck Han. Everyone says he's the boogie. So for sure, that'd be a test that I would love to, to see if I, for sure, I would love to get in there with Jennebeck, and those are some, for sure. Definitely Charlo, Adame. So there's a lot of guys at 160.
How do you feel like you would stack up in that group right now, even though you're still earlier in your career?
Yeah.
So the timelines are quite aligned, but how do you feel like you would stack up given, that's probably what you're going to be seeing over the next 2-3 years?
I feel like, honestly, I feel like all skill wise, I'm better than all of them. Honestly, I just feel like maybe they got an edge on the power, honestly, but I feel like skill wise, I can match up with all of them. And depending on how I fight them, I will have to get in the ring with them. And I'm more get in a ring with that kind of person than I figure you out as far as like me studying. Even though I do study film, but I'm still more of a, like, when I get in the ring with you, I don't know what to do with you. But
of all those guys, sorry about that. If of all those guys, is there one in particular do you think you can get by the end of this year, 2023?
I don't think so. I don't think not by the end of this year. Maybe beginning of next year, or maybe mid next year. Probably not this year for sure. We definitely get in the rankings though this year. The top 15 rankings this year though. So I can say that.
Now, when you're being compared to like other prospects, middleweight prospects, and obviously, like we talked about, it's a tough class. You talked about that, you can bang with any of those guys. You talked a little bit about power. Do you think people kind of sleep on your power? Because we know that you're extremely skilled. You're tough to hit. But do you feel like people kind of sleep on your power a little bit?
I ain't gonna say I feel like people kind of sleep on my power. I just feel like I fight, opponents that be retreating, or I just fight different. I feel like Top Rank has matched me with different style of opponents. That I have an opponent that went in there to lay down, so I haven't got those flashy knockouts that other prospects have gotten. I haven't I've been there, with some tough opponents. Victor Tony was he was a crafty guy. So I looked at that fight as a fight where I just had to be patient and solve the puzzle with patience instead of trying to highlight knockout. Just, hey, fuck it, just win the fight off volume, not get hit, win the fight off volume, and get the W, and keep it moving. And then also I felt like I fought some guys that were actually tough. Lavallee. I don't know any other boxers who's going to take that punishment as well as Cruz Cabano. I don't know another guy is going to take that punishment as well. So, I don't feel like though they I ain't gonna say, I say that's a yes and no question. I say it's a yes and no. I feel like some people say, because one of my bros did hit me up. It was like after the Tony fight, it was like, people kind of said Troy might not got that pop. You feel me? So it's a 50-50 question. Some people say nah, he don't got no power. Some people say yeah, Troy still can hit.
Let me tell you something though, because I saw you after that Victor Tony fight, and you weren't tired at all. Like, you were there shaking hands with fans. It looked like you could run a marathon after. I was like, this is wild, because you did not look tired at all. So that was a really good fight to, watch you do your thing. You talked about Top Rank. What's your experience been like being a part of Top Rank so far? And of course, like Bob Arum.
Top Rank started recruiting me. They've been recruiting me since the 2017 Worlds. I didn't meet them until the next year, 2018. The first guy I met was Carl Moretti. So whenever I had free time, or whenever Shakur fought, they always flew me out to fights, and they always showed me love and stuff like that. The matchmakers, they always showed me love. They always when I had that meeting with Top Rank, they were all they all like kind of knew who I was. I felt like I didn't really have to prove who I was to Top Rank, as far as, even though they, Shelly Fingal, he was trying to, take me to Al. Keith Carley said, I think you would be a better fit for Al. I wanted Top Rank to develop me because I feel like Top Rank they know how to make stars, and I like how they develop fighters. They give you the right fights at the right time. Not saying they're going to be easy, but right. They just know how to match their prospects a little better than PBC and DAZN does. And, I like Top Rank. The people are cool. They real old school, and I like how they I like how they do their business.
Okay, you hit on a couple of things I actually want to follow up on. One being the matchmaking, because this is something that like other people have said, like Top Rank has done a great job of like, and as somebody who's Puerto Rican, I saw this with Miguel Cotto, especially doing a great job of matching guys up and developing them as they go along. Why do you think they're better at it than basically everybody else, Matchroom or PBC or whoever else?
Because I ain't gonna say because they old, but like the matchmakers are like 80, 90 years old. So they've been in the game for a minute. So they've seen it all. They've been in the game for a minute. I just feel like Top Rank real old school. They got a lot of as far as different from like the media, like the pictures and all that, they got some young people, but like when you go to the Top Rank office, like it's a lot of older people. So I just feel like they've been around the game a little longer than the guys at DAZN or the guys at PBC have. So they've been in the game since like the 60s, and they know all the legends. They've seen all that. They developed, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Marvin Haglers. So like they just been in the game for a minute. That's all.
And my other question was, you mentioned the recruiting process, right? And Top Rank trying to, get you back in 2017. Because we hear a lot of recruiting stories from like, guys in team sports, basketball, football, whatever the case may be. But what does that look like actually for a boxer, for a top prospect in boxing, that recruitment process?
Okay,
how does that go?
This was I met Carl Moretti. He was there with Michaela Mayer. Michaela used to come to the Olympic training center. She was on our team my first year there. Then she turned pro after my first year. She was there, so she had Carl there, and I was just like, I see he kept looking at me, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like, why is he? So I just walk
slicing you up.
Yeah, I just walk up to him like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm Troy. He's like, oh, I know who you are. I'm Carl Moretti. VP, stuff like that for Top Rank, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. And he's like, I follow you on Twitter, stuff like that. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So then he gets to asking me, after your fight, and after you do the Germany duels in October, you wanna come to the fight and stuff like that. And I get there after the Germany duels. They fly me to Bud Crawford versus Benavidez. They fly me and Duke out. Me, get there. We sit in there front row. Our name. They got like some little Top Rank shirts, and Carl's like, oh yeah, I just so I show you how we do business, stuff like that, right. Handshakers and shit like that. And then he's just like, whenever y'all ready to go pro, just don't hesitate. We ready. So, and then any other time, I wanted to do the Olympic thing. I was 100% sure I wanted to do that, so I didn't budge. But he was just like, whenever you're ready, we waiting on you. So. Anytime I left camp, or anytime after like an amateur tournament on the USA team, and I had free time, that no problem. Invite me out, fly me out, pay for my hotel, stuff like that. So I mean, it was cool. It was cool.
And I know you mentioned earlier that you like food. Did they wine and dine you? Like, did they take you out somewhere real special to eat or anything like that?
I mean, they wine and dine me, but the more manager part. So like, I ain't gonna say they ain't want to dime me. I was good. I got to go backstage. I was good. I could sit front row. I was good on that part. Or the more wine and diner was on the management part. Like I would see Jay Prince or Antonio Leonard or Sully Fingal. So like the managers would come up, and those were more the people that would wine and dine, because they were trying to sign me or take me to Top Rank or take me to Al Heyman. So those were the people who did most of the wine and diner.
Oh, that's awesome. Where did Jay Prince take you to eat, if he did?
So Jay Prince, first time I met Jay Prince was 2019. In 2019, April 2019, before the Pan Am qualifiers, he just popped up that one day. We were sparring. Me and Tiger had a dope little session. Jay Prince popped up. Shakur brought him there, and had a good conversation with Shakur, and after that, he took me, Keyshawn, Jared, and Duke and Tiger. We all went out. I think we went to like Outback. We just went Outback that time. But after that, we had went to Vegas. Not after the qualifier, but after the Ireland camp, we went to Vegas, and we went to some seafood restaurants, and then as well, he'll let me Jay Person let me stay in his mansion in Vegas when I wasn't even signed to him. So stuff like that. So it was cool. It was cool. He took me a lot of places though in Vegas.
That sounds like a really cool experience. Like, hey, J Prince knows how to do things. You know what I mean?
Right.
For sure.
So,
definitely. When I signed with him, he took me to I don't know if it was like a kind of similar to like a steakhouse. The day I signed with him, he took me over there.
I'm glad he was treating you good. I didn't expect anything less from J Prince, but I was like, I wonder how he winded down you. So Troy, we're at the part of the show where we call this the mandatory maze. We're gonna ask you some rapid fire questions. I'm gonna kick it off. I mean, this one's not about boxing, but we just talked about food. You mentioned you're a food guy. What's your favorite type of food?
Any type of pasta. Italian. Any type of pasta, or I like any type of pasta. Steak houses, some steak, some lamb. You can't go wrong with that. Occasionally, I have a burger craving. Sometimes, I'll get a burger here and there. Wing. Sometimes I have a wing craving. So I'm just a food guy. I'm not undisciplined. I make weight all the time. I'm good. I know how to cut it out. So, but when I'm out of camp, I eat good. I ain't gonna lie. I like to travel, and wherever I travel at, I'm definitely gonna try all the 5-star restaurants. I don't like to go to little chain restaurants. I like 5-star.
There you go.
I like them cooking in front of you, cutting it in front of you, or whatever.
Right.
I like 5-star.
This is why you got to get some of those big fights. You know what I mean? So you can pay for that easier. Right.
I love that. I love that. Also, I know you're in training camp right now. What music are you working out to?
Whew. Music. Okay. If I'm ready, if I'm about to like spar, or if I'm in the mood where I want to fuck somebody up, excuse my language.
No.
You can curse. You can curse. I'm a New York Puerto Rican. Like, I'm a New York Rican. I curse all the time. It is what it is.
So yeah, I'm gonna go New York music. I don't know. I like New York music. Old school. They give you that like you want to somebody. I like New York music. If I'm trying to like if I'm running or if I'm like finishing a mile, I'm gonna go Lil Baby. I'm gonna go like more motivational music. So like maybe a Lil Baby. I don't know if y'all know Rollo Rodriguez, NBA YoungBoy. I listen a little bit of everything. Like, if you look at my playlist, you'll be surprised. Like, I listen to a little bit of everything. I got a little bit of old school. I even got, some slow jams. I can run a slow jam, stuff like that. So I listen a little bit of everything. My playlist is crazy. It'll go from here, then go there, then it'll go there. So you'll be like, damn, we're all over the place with your playlist. So play somebody. So.
Okay, first rapid fire question for me. What do most people get wrong about Bob Arum?
Most people get wrong about Bob. I would say everybody's like, he don't take care of his black fighters. I say that's what most people get wrong about Bob.
Could you elaborate on why that's false in your experience?
Because of the I don't want to get too deep into it, but how the Crawford thing ended. That you can say he ever since that thing, they're like, oh, Bob don't like his black fighters. He don't take care of his black fighters, stuff like that.
Okay, second one. This is a 2-part question. Favorite thing about boxing, least favorite thing about boxing.
Least favorite thing about boxing is making weight. That's easy. Making weight. That's the least favorite thing. You got to cut your meals out, especially a guy like me. I'm like, why do I choose a sport where I got to make weight? Oh my God. Fuck. And then my favorite thing is just getting in the ring and fighting, bro. I like to fight.
All right. So my next question is, who's the toughest guy that you sparred against?
Toughest guy I sparred against. Damn, that's a lot of sessions.
It's not Terence Crawford.
I ain't gonna say it's not Terence Crawford. I feel like, I don't know. I don't. That's a good question. I don't really. I mean, you could say Crawford, but you could say Swift Jared Hurd too as well, because Swift got a tank that never stops. So like here you like, damn, bro, this nigga will never get tired, bro. Like back up, god damn, bro. Like what the fuck? Give me some room to breathe, bro. So like, I would say Swift, because Swift, he hits hard, and then as well like damn, bro, like back up off me, bro. And then he's big. Sometimes he'll get to 190, like he's big, bro. So I'd be like, bro, like back up off me, bro. Like golly, bro, you're too big, bro. And you fight 154, like that's crazy, bro.
Last two for me, or last one for me, rather. Last one for me, because you mentioned a lot of the middleweights that you want, but they're probably not feasible this year. By the end of this year, what's the fight that you want the most in your division?
I want a big fight. I mean, shit. Ammo. I guess Ammo is a big fight. That's a big fight. That's a big step up.
Ammo Williams.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
This is my final question for the mandatory maze. Hardest punch that you've ever taken from a boxer? Yeah. What boxer was that?
Hardest punch. I mean, Swift or Khalil Cole. If you know Khalil Cole, yeah, Khalil Cole could punch for sure. That was like my sparring partner for 2 years, 2.5 years on the USA team. He got a hard right hand. I'll say that. You can't throw nothing lazy with that guy. You got to be sharp for sure. So I say definitely probably Khalil Cole, the hardest punch for sure.
And you're going to be fighting, of course, on the Shakur card coming up in April. And I saw you had some merch that you're also promoting right now. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I mean, people be asking me, you know, about, you know, when I'm gonna start selling my merch and all that. So I don't really, right now we still getting it going. We still trying to get the website and all that going. But honestly, I'm gonna start, you know, pushing out some merch, you know, using different logos and stuff like that. You know, hoodies, shirts. I talked to one guy today. You know, we gonna work on, you know, some book bags, some wristbands, stuff like that. So, you know, a little bit of everything. I might do some flip-flops too.
Flip-flops, okay.
Yeah,
I'm a flip-flop type of girl. So
you could do that in time for the summer. You know?
For sure. So my final question, of course, for you, Troy, is like, what can we expect from you fight night, April 8th?
I mean, I feel like, honestly, I've been getting, you know, I got a good month of training there with my guy, Jamie Belt. And I just feel like a whole completely different, you know, different fighter. Honestly, you know, I wanted to work on getting stronger. I feel like we worked on that. And then, you know, also, you know, my legs and everything. I just feel like you're going to see a whole new transformer, you know, a transformer you've never seen before, you know, more strong, just more all around. Not just, you know, power, but all around game.
And your opponent, has your opponent been announced yet?
They undecided. They gave me like 2 guys. At first, we were trying to get a guy at going down to 54, but we couldn't really get a guy at 54. So it seems like we're gonna get a guy at 60.
Okay. So you're not sure. You're not sure who it is yet, or you can't say who it is yet.
I ain't gonna say who it is yet because I'm not 100% sure that's the guy. Because I'm not 100% sure that's the guy yet. So I'm not gonna say who it is yet.
All right, good to know. Well, we're definitely excited to watch you fight on April 8th. Thank you so much for rocking with us for like the last 40 minutes. We appreciate you, and definitely let us know when those merch links come out, because we want to drop it in our description as well. Make sure you guys go support Troy Isley. And where can people follow you on like Instagram, TikTok, and all of that? Where should we be able to find you?
Instagram and TikTok, BoxBoyTroy1, and Twitter, Goat Transformer.
All right. Awesome. So make sure you go follow Troy because he's about to do some really big things in the sport.
One thing about I don't know. You asked me. You say you're gonna ask me. I think you maybe forgot, but how I got the transformer name.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, please tell us.
Yeah, I got you. So I got you. So
because it's a great nickname.
I like how you say Like I don't get like RJ Ward says, like I'm not boisterous and stuff like that. I don't really get the looks and all that. Like even growing up, I don't know. I just never brought that type of energy of like that real confident type of energy that people really liked. So I would always get overlooked. And I'm not saying the show would be boring, but when I would fight, they were like, oh, like it'd be a lot of oohs and ahs, and then it'd be like everybody be going crazy, everybody be standing up near the ring and stuff like that. But one particular story is one day Baltimore threw a show. Upton, Calvin, Tank and all of them, they threw a show. And this guy, James, he told me this a few weeks ago. And he was looking at me. He's like, I was real nervous and stuff like that. And he was going up to K. He went up to K. He was like, K, I don't know about Troy, man. He looked a little like nervous and stuff like that. And K was like, oh, he good. He'll snap out of it. He good. And then I fought, and everybody went crazy, stuff like that. And K called my dad the next day and was like, we gonna call you the Transformer. Yeah, so that's how I got my name. Just always being overlooked and stuff like that. And then every time I fight, it's like, oh shit, like damn, this guy, shit, he quiet and stuff like that, but damn, this guy got a killer. So, that's how I got my name.
I love that. And I love that you reminded me of that, because we were talking about it before we actually started recording. We were like, I wonder how he got that name. And Brian's like, I like that. I like that nickname a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like it fit me as well, because I feel like, boxing has its ups and downs. In the amateur game, I felt like, there's times where I had to transform or, just transform into a new me, or, I feel like that name just fits me as a person. So
no, yeah. I love it. I definitely want a Troy Isley Transformer tee, because the story behind it is inspirational as hell. Like what you just said, I think a lot of people can relate to that. So thank you for reminding me as well. That's a dope nickname. But Troy, once again, thank you so much for rocking with us. We hope we can have you on again sometime later on.
Always. I like you guys, man. This was a dope ass interview. I like this. I ain't gonna lie. I'll definitely come back for sure.
Appreciate it.
We love that. Thanks so much, Troy. Appreciate you, and all the best of luck on April. We'll be rooting for you, man.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Have a nice day.